Okay, in this experiment we measure the thermal diffusivity of brass. When heat flow is not steady, that means the temperature distribution in the material varies with time, then the quantity that is important is the diffusivity of the material. The diffusivity D is given by the thermal conductivity K divided by the density of the material and the specific heat per unit mass of the material. Diffusivity is measured in centimeter square per second. If you take a rod and at one end give a sinusoidal heat input varying with a frequency f, then the temperature distribution along the rod is given by T, the temperature at point x at time small t, is the temperature of the surroundings T naught plus an amplitude theta exponential minus alpha x into exponential I omega t minus beta x, where omega is 2 pi times the frequency. That is, at any point the temperature also varies sinusoidally with frequency f, but the amplitude is not the same at all points in the rod. The amplitude decreases exponentially as you go away from the end where heating is given. Also, the phase of the oscillation changes from point to point. Beta x measures the phase of the heat wave. Therefore, the temperature wave is a damped simple harmonic wave, where the excess temperature theta x decays with distance as exponential minus alpha x, and the phase increases as beta x when one moves away from the source of heat. The diffusivity D is related to omega is 2 pi f and the damping coefficient alpha and the phase coefficient beta. D is omega by 2 alpha beta. If there is no heat loss from the surface of the rod, then alpha is equal to beta. But if there is a heat loss from the surface, alpha is larger than beta. However, the product alpha beta will be proportional to omega. Let us take brass, for which alpha is about 0.15 per centimeter, when the frequency is very low, 0.0016 Hertz, or the period is 600 seconds, 1 by f. Alpha is 0.15 by centimeter, means the amplitude of the thermal wave will decay to 1 by E of its value in a distance 7 centimeters. But if we increase the frequency to 20 Hertz, then alpha increases to 16.5 per centimeter. This means the amplitude will decay to 1 by E of its value in a very short distance, 0.05 centimeter. So we won't be able to measure alpha because the heat wave will decay very rapidly. So to measure thermal diffusivity of brass rod, we use a period of heating of 600 seconds. However, it is difficult to produce a sine wave of such a long period. So we use periodic heating in this experiment. There is a brass rod at the center. That is a brass rod which is 3 mm diameter, 30 centimeters long. At the center of the brass rod, we have wound a nichrome heater for a short length, about 2 centimeters. The nichrome heater has a resistance of 10 ohms. We have 2 thermocouples, 4 and 5, of copper constantan. The junction 4 is attached to the brass rod with super glue. Similarly, the junction 5 of the second thermocouple is attached to the brass rod by super glue. The reference junctions for both thermocouples, they are in a copper block which is at room temperature. So what we measure at 4 using the thermocouple 1 is the temperature of point 4 with reference to the temperature of the copper block. Similarly, we measure the temperature at point 5 with reference to the temperature of the copper block using the second thermocouple. We put the copper rod, the brass rod, we wrap it with cotton wool and then we put it in this plastic tube. The heater terminals come at the bottom of the plastic tube. The 2 thermocouples terminals, one pair of terminals comes here and the other pair of terminals comes here. We have 2 other thermocouples fixed on this and the right half of the tube of the brass rod. These thermocouples can be used in case these 2 thermocouples are damaged. We can use the 2 other thermocouples which are fixed to the right of the brass tube, right half of the brass tube for carrying out the experiment. So what we do is we connect the heater terminal to a DC power supply. This will give a DC voltage which can be changed from 0 to 20 volts by turning these 2 potentiometers. We have set it at 5 volts. So 5 volts will be applied to 10 ohms and therefore a current of half an ampere will pass through the nichrome heater and the wattage will be 5 volts into half an ampere, 2.5 watts will be the heat that is given. The thermocouple 1 is thermocouple 2. The 2 leads are connected to channel 1 and thermocouple 1, 2 leads are connected to channel 2. So if I put it in channel 1, it will measure thermo EMF of the thermocouple 1 and if I put it in channel 2, it will measure thermo EMF of the thermocouple 2. I have to use a periodic heating, not a sinusoidal heating. For this periodic heating, what I do is I put the plug in and start my timer. Then a current flows through the heater and the temperature will increase. I supply this heat for 300 seconds. When my timer reaches 300 seconds, I pull out the black banana terminal. Now no current flows through the heater, and this situation persists for another 300 seconds. That is, I switch on the heater for 300 seconds, switch it off for 300 seconds. So the heater is on, off, on, off, on, off. And this you should do throughout the experiment. For 300 seconds, heater must be put on. Next 300 seconds, it will be off. Again, it will be on for 300 seconds, off for 300 seconds. This must be done without failure throughout the experiment. The first 2 cycles, the cycle has a period 600 seconds. So 2 cycles have a period 1200 seconds. So first 2 cycles, you don't take any reading. You only put this channel in channel 1, but don't take any reading. When you switch on the heater at 1200 seconds, start taking readings at channel 1 from 12-15 seconds every 30 seconds. That means 12:15, 12:45, 13:15, 13:45. Keep taking reading till 18:15 seconds. For 600 seconds, you must take the reading every 30 seconds. But remember, you must switch off the heater at 1500 seconds. Switch on the heater at 1800 seconds. After taking the reading at 18:15 seconds, turn the burn switch to position 2. But don't take any reading till 2400 seconds. But remember, 2100 seconds, you must remove the plug, you must switch it off. At 2400, you must switch it on. Now take the readings of channel 2. Every 30 seconds, from 24:15 to 30:15 seconds, you should take readings every 30 seconds. But remember, at 2700, you must switch off. At 3000, you must switch on. So you have readings of channel 1 every 30 seconds from 12:15 to 18:15 seconds, and readings of channel 2 every 30 seconds from 24:15 to 30:15 seconds. After taking the last reading, switch off everything. Okay. So between 0 to 1200, no readings, only you switch off and switch on every 300 seconds. At 1200 seconds, when you switch on, this should be in channel 1. Take readings of channel 1 every 30 seconds from 12:15 to 18:15. switch off at 1500, switch on at 1800. After taking the reading at 1815, change to channel 2, but no reading, only turn this to channel 2. Switch on at 2400, then take readings every 30 seconds, readings of channel 2 from 2415 to 3015. Remember to switch off at 2700, switch on at 3000. You plot the thermo EMF of channel 1 and thermo EMF of channel 2 as a function of time. You will find it will increase and decrease, but not sinusoidally. It will do it periodically. A periodic function is a superposition of sinusoidal function with period t, t by 2, t by 3, t by 4. This is the Fourier theorem. So I am going to find what is the amplitude and phase of the sinusoidal signal of period t by Fourier analyzing my data. So what you do is, you take the voltage at time t, multiply it by cosine of 2 pi into t divided by the period, which is 600 seconds, and integrate this quantity and divide it by integrate this quantity and divide it by 600 seconds. That quantity is called IC. Similarly, take the voltage, multiply by sine 2 pi t by 600 dt, divide it by 1 by 600, that is IS. Once you know IC and IS, the amplitude of the sine wave is square root of IC square plus IS square. And the phase of the wave is tan inverse of IS by IC. So once I do the Fourier analysis, I can find the amplitude at point x, phase at point x for the sine wave part at the period 600 seconds. So this is the data. Two thermocouple junction is 3 centimeters. The period of pulsed heating is 600 seconds. Channel 1, that column 1 gives you the time 12:15 to 18:15 at intervals of 30 seconds. Channel 2 gives you the readings that you get from DC differential amplifier. In channel 1, column 2 gives you the readings of the DC differential amplifier in channel 1 in millivolts. This reading is multiplied by cosine 2 pi into the time 12:15 by 600. That is the first row. When you come to the second row, you multiply the voltage 13 millivolts by cosine 2 pi into 1245 by 600. That is the second row. So you calculate all the values up to 18-15 seconds, multiplying V by cosine 2 pi t by 600. You do the same in column 4, multiply V by sine 2 pi t by 600, you get the values in column 4. I will do the integral by Simpson's rule. I will find integral Vt cos 2 pi t by 600 dt by Simpson's rule. In Simpson's rule, we add all the values from row 1 from 1215 to 1815. We add the values, all the values, subtract from that half the first last value. This is what I call a sum. This sum is sum of all the values minus half of the first value. Similarly, this is the sum of all values minus the sum of the first value and the last value. This sum is multiplied by the time interval 30 seconds and divided by the period 600 seconds. So multiply sum by 30, divide by 600. If you do it for column 3, that will give you I1C. If you do it for column 4, that will give you I1 san, I1s. So I1C has a value minus 11.4, I1s has a value plus 0.48. Then calculate the amplitude, square I1C, square I1s, add, take the square root, that is amplitude at the point 1, 11.43. The phase at the point 1 is tan inverse of I1s by I1c. If you do it on a computer, it will give you the angle in the fourth quadrant. But we see that the cosine is negative, sine is positive, so this is an angle in the second quadrant. So find tan inverse of I1s by I1c on the computer and add pi to it to get the phase angle. This gives you the readings of channel 2 taken every 30 seconds between 24:15 to 30:15. Again, this column will give you the value V2 multiplied by cosine 2 pi t by 600, and this will give you V2 multiplied by sine 2 pi t by 600. Again, if I add all the values in the column, subtract half the first and the last data to give the sum, do the same thing for this column, then calculate I2 cos by multiplying the sum by 30 seconds and dividing it by 600 seconds. That is I2 cos. Similarly, find I2 sin. Amplitude 2 is take the square of I2 cos, square of I2 sin, add, take the square root, and the phase is take tan inverse of I2 cos, I2 sin by I2 cos, and add pi. So we now have amplitude at x2, amplitude at x2 and amplitude at x1. x2 is the junction closer to the thermometer and x1 is the junction farther away. You see the amplitude closer to the heater is roughly 1.5 times the amplitude farther away from the heater. To calculate alpha, take the ratio amplitude 2 by amplitude 1, take the natural logarithm of this ratio and divide by 3. Alpha is ln amplitude 2 by amplitude 1 divided by 3. That is some value close to 0.15. Beta is phase at x1 minus phase at x2 divided by 3. So phase 1 minus phase 2 by 3, that is 0.11. Then diffusivity is omega, which is 2 pi by 600. You divide it by twice alpha beta, that is 0.32 centimeter square per second. This experiment is very easy to do, but calculations are lengthy, but it illustrates how you Fourier analyze a periodic variation of temperature.